All right. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank Jeff Richter for finally getting here.
He's here?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're fired. No.
Where's your brother?
As soon as you get this interview, you're fired.
You're fired.
I called everybody here.
You want me rolling on this or no?
We're already
Okay.
rolling. Thank you for your input. Next question. There's been a lot of going on within the Dukes of Hazzard world for since the beginning of time. And what ends up happening is that things always end up becoming delusional or lost or forgotten. And one of the things that I thought was most important right now is the kids. And growing up with the Dukes of Hazzard and always wanting to be a Duke boy and wanting to do the right thing has never, been not a thought in my mind. In 1985, I bought, with every dime I ever had, I bought a 1968 Dodge Charger. And unfortunately, the next year, it was totaled, my best friend was killed, and I was put in a coma for 4 days. And turning the clock ahead, I get to sit here with the original guys, Byron Cherry. We got Chris Mayer, Vance and Coy Duke, and Blanco Blanco. And what we wanted to do was we wanted to do something to make a difference. And in July, we're doing the world-famous Bull Run. For a lot of you that don't know who the Bull Run is, the Bull Run is a cross-country race where we're going to be competing in a rally against some of the biggest and fastest drivers in their Lamborghinis and their Porsches, and Kim Kardashian's doing it this year, Vanilla Ice is doing it, Ice-T's doing it, Paris Hilton's doing it. Steve Forbes bought a brand new Lamborghini to do this race in July. And the race starts in Las Vegas, and it ends up in Miami, Florida.
Now you're going against Maseratis and Lamborghinis and all these super fast, expensive cars, but you've got the coolest car.
Yes, true, absolutely.
All eyes are going to be on you.
And here's the best thing: is everybody's got a smile on their face as soon as you say General Lee. Yeah.
Everybody knows what that is.
Nobody smiled when I said Lamborghini. Nobody smiled when I said Maserati. I mean, we get
They
it.
can't afford to smile at those prices.
And what I wanted to do was I wanted to go through the entire South, and it's so funny because I just put this in God's hands, and I said, what do you want me to do? And the Make-A-Wish Foundation came on board with us, and Byron asked, I asked him, and I said, will you take this ride with me? It's a 4,000-mile rally. I said, but I'm not looking to compete. What I'm looking to do is make a difference. And what we're doing on July 12th, I believe, we're going to be at Cowboy Stadium. They're putting on a big thing for us for the NFL Players Association. We're working with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We're working with St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And we're working with Sheila Jaffe's Felix organization. And what we're doing is we're looking for sponsorships. We've got a lot of people on board. We literally just acquired this car, which is a 1969 Dodge Charger General Lee. It's one of a kind.
Came from New Jersey, didn't it?
It came from New Jersey.
All good things do.
Right. Amen, brother. Jersey. Amen, brother. Yeah, me and
on a flatbed truck. That must have gotten some attention coming across country.
Well, I'll tell you, just the car alone, and we're going to unveil it in a minute after the questions. But the driver said every stop that they stopped, 50 people jumped out of their cars. I had to bring this car here yesterday. A tractor trailer hit his air brake, stopped in the middle of Route 5 just to take pictures of the car in the middle of Route 5 yesterday.
Caused a huge pile up, but he got the pictures, which is important.
Yeah. The sad part is I'm in the picture, so when they figure out who tried to block up all that traffic, I mean, my picture's going to be on the thing. Right now, we are going to be on the cover of the Mopar Collector's Guide for July. We are scheduled for Jay Leno's Garage, and we're scheduled for the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
That's huge.
Does anybody have any questions so far?
Byron, Chris, you're from the show. You're putting your faces with the car for a great cause. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, this guy got me involved with this, Eric over here, and we actually met him about a month ago, and
yesterday actually.
Yesterday.
Quick friendship.
A whole month,
yesterday on Facebook.
And he's a great guy. But I've known this guy for most of my life.
Good problem, dude.
Yeah, we're all problem. No.
Exactly.
But I just he told me a little about his thoughts. He goes, Byron, I'm thinking about buying a General Lee for this Bull Run, and I go,
we're going to Spain. He says we're going to Spain.
I go, why do I want to go to Spain and run from bulls? Why do I mean those guys? They get
the horns are sharp.
Run from bulls. I said, I got kids. I don't want. I'm not ready.
You're too old for that now.
So anyway, so they goes, Byron, come on, man. And this is the Bull Run, the race. I went, oh wait, oh, the Reigns.
which originally was the Gumball 3000. If
Yeah.
everybody knows
The
The
which-
Gumball Rally,
Right,
sure.
which ended up being the Cannonball Run, but in all reality, and this is the funnest thing about the whole thing. This is actually the very first time. I mean, you see Tom Wopat, you see Coy and Vance Duke, you see all these characters on the show doing all these fictitious races on the TV show and all these rallies, but in realistic life, it's never really happened. This is the first time in history an actual Duke is driving through the South in a 100-car rally driving the General Lee.
That's fantastic. Now you've got beautiful Blanca Blanco here, who's an actress and a hospice worker. Obviously, you do a lot of charity work and wanted to get involved. My question, guys, are you going to let her drive?
She can do anything she wants.
Well, the downside about the Bull Run is we're only allowed 2 drivers.
Chris is going.
Yeah.
No.
Now she'll give directions like all ladies do. You know, just turn right here. What's wrong?
She'll be the
You
navigator.
missed the exit. Yeah,
That's right. Well, the Bull Run itself, we're only allowed 1 driver and 1 co-pilot, and we're allowed to switch off every 200 miles. So Byron and I are actually doing 2,000 miles apiece in this car, driving. So we had to make sure that we got something worth.
Does that include restroom stops?
That includes lunch every 200 miles, and then 400 miles were 5-star accommodations. And
Well, she can sit in the back seat, right?
oh, she can sit in the front seat. She can sit on my lap in the front seat. But
She can steer.
You can drive for me.
Absolutely. But, you know, and anybody that goes to bullrun.com can see that there's a lot of partying in the evening and a lot of festivity around it. And we wanted to utilize our time a lot more besides drinking and partying and have a good time. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. If you're out there to have a great time, great. But, you know, while they're all doing that, we want to stop at the Ronald McDonald houses. You know, we're working with Mopar. We're working with St. Jude's. There's foster kids out there. There's kids out there that watch the Dukes of Hazzard, and one ride in that car, or one stop at their camp, or anything that we need to do could change their whole lives. I mean, I watched Dukes of Hazzard once, and it changed my whole life. You know, I feel there's a responsibility for what's happening in my life right now, and I think that it's more important that the kids get rides and the kids get to see the car and meet the stars of the show.
You know, it was a good family show, and you know, it got a lot of fan following, and that's a good thing. It's a good message, and it's great that God bless you guys for stepping up and supporting the cause. Or was it just to be able to drive it? Was it
Well, Byron actually has his own General Lee. Which
I have one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's actually the last remaining cast member with their own General Lee at this point. But I wanted to get something different. I wanted to get something really eye-catching, and the car itself was given a complete 360-degree restoration. Picture Car Warehouse, who designed all the cars for the Fast and the Furious, and Kenny Wayne Shepherd's Extreme Lee, have had the car for the past 2 weeks and really have donated so much of their time, money, and parts and everything else into really building the car up. You know, and then Kevin Martin here at the Hollywood Show at hollywoodshow.com, you know, did a lot to help support the cause as well, besides get us on the website. And David Pearsall over at People's Power, you know, who really insisted that this really needs to be done. I mean, he's a young guy. He's done the Bull Run year after year. He's probably going to win it this year. But he wanted it to really make sure that our point got across.
Have you thought about starting with Byron's car in Vegas, and then you finish with the other car?
Well, we were going to use his.
It'd be an instant winner, right? God, you were so fast.
Right. No, we were going to use Byron's for jumps.
Jump zone.
And mine for gas.
Over the bridge, yeah.
That's right.
The bridge jumps,
Right.
the river
And
jumps.
then we're just
Yeah.
going to land my car and just keep going. So,
Editing. It's editing.
absolutely. No problem.
I'm just trying to think outside the box
No,
here for
absolutely.
you
We're probably
guys.
going to take it just because it needs to be able to run. Probably in an enclosed thing, you know, we can bring it in and out to give people, the kids, rides and stuff in it. So, mine has a smaller motor, but it's got, you know, it's got every single autograph from even Denver Pyle, Boss Hogg's autograph,
Sure.
like Shrunk Lid, and all the cast members, all the stunt guys. So it's kind of it needs to be in a museum, you know, really. But but I want to take it just for basically show and have somebody hopefully tow it. So we're working on that right now. And
Be like the pony ride at the carnival, but they can actually ride in the General Lee, which
Cruise around
is
the
much
pony
cooler.
ride. It's gonna be the
Give them a
pony
cowboy hat when they
Yeah.
when they
I mean,
get in the
there's
car.
still 45 million viewers of the Dukes of Hazzard every single day. It's shown 4 times a day on CMT, you know. And every day is some kid's first opportunity to see that show, you know. And what we do with it, you know, as cast members and fans, you know, is going to go over to that next generation. I think it was an important part of history. The 69 Dodge Charger in itself and the representation of the car with the TV show, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's the number one recognized car in the TV industry.
Eric, you've got your own radio shows on XM and
Sirius
Retro
XM.
Radio. You're going to be covering that.
You know, I asked permission for Jamie Foxx to do this event because I really have to take a lot of time out to work with all the causes, and I'm answering a lot of interviews right now. And like I said, we're scheduled for Jay Leno, we're scheduled for the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And you know what it is? I'm really spending, and Byron will tell you, I spend about 14 hours a day on the phone just trying to perpetuate this cause. I mean, we are literally funding this whole thing. The only thing that we're seeing back is from sponsors, and again, everything's going to be going to the kids' charities, you know, past our costs. And again, right now we put up a lot of money, and we're just trying to get some support behind it. You know, it's not about the money; it's about what we're doing with it. I mean, anybody could go out and buy a brand new Challenger or a brand new Charger. Anybody can go out and buy a Maserati and do the bull run. You know, but it really takes a passion for the Dukes of Hazzard, and you know, a passion for what these guys believe in and stood for how many years.
Blanca, you're an actress, and you also do hospice care. That's for terminally ill patients. Wow, that's got to take a lot of patience and to be able to do that. And
I do work with patients that have a terminal illness, and they have 6 months or less to live. So I help them with the transition from the acceptance, you know, from the beginning of the stage where they're not, they're in shock, denial, and then eventually acceptance. So I wanted to be involved in this project because I believe that what they're doing is great, going to the hospitals and supporting families and children, and just seeing the car for, you know, a kid will be something that, you know, it's a dream for them to be able to even sit in the car. Just something so simple, but
good for you. That's great. Chris, they're doing the driving, so you're going to keep Blanca company?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll keep her warm in the back seat.
Yeah, Chris Mayer, I actually asked to come on board because we're really trying to build a home-based system, you know, where people can relate to everything we're doing, and then we're trying to bring Chris back involved and everything. And Chris has got his own life that he's been living, and I asked him in 30 seconds, he was like, absolutely yes. You know, so again, we're trying to build a good home support system, a good road system. I mean, all the production crews that are coming on, everybody that's following this, the magazines, the newspapers, it's been great. It's just been so much support, and we just want to keep the motion going. You know, and Blanca's going to help us with some of the, you know, some of the harder questions that we have to deal with the healthcare people. And I mean, because you can't just show up in a hospital with cameras, and you know, so we're really trying to build like this really good, you know, system. So, does everybody want to see the car?
Let's see the car.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Want to help me, Byron?
I do. And Chris? Is this what Lisa did? Magic.
If you're on a highway and road runner goes beep beep, just step aside or you might end up in a heap. Road runner runs on the road all day. Even the